welcome back to the channel. This is what you would call an off-roading lawnmower. It's nothing special, very old. Used to be more red than it is brown, and it had this mounted toward the front of it. So a nice little plow mechanism. But today we're going to work on it, and I liked it because it had the gear drive, which is why I was modified to this. As you can see, this structure here is not stock. Sorry for the wind noise, but right here, our starter does not engage, and it doesn't retract right. So we're going to take this off, lubricate it, get it to work properly, and engage. Otherwise, we've been using the electric start on this thing. Removing the pull start is as easy as taking out 4 bolts. From there, you have access to everything. So all this needed is a little bit of lubrication, no issues. So that's one problem solved. Now, if this was ever to break, say you lost the cord, you can refeed it through, and then you can rewind this thing to your desired position. And you can even still reuse the rope. But also with this style of handle, as you can see, there's a metal piece there. If that breaks off, you can reuse it. So this actually turned out to be pretty good. Now we got to figure out the engagement. Time to do some little bit cleaning up some terminals, electrical stuff, some maintenance. Here you'll see me taking off the ignition coil. I'm cleaning all of the connections, the ignition coil itself, the flywheel, and the spark plug connector. There is no boot. I may refix that later on, that way it's 100% sealed and or protected from the elements, but right now I just want to take all the rust off of all the tools that create the firing sequence for the single cylinder engine before you. So this part of the video, it's not bolted down, but you can see that she's working perfectly fine. There's an engagement device here that's not gripping it. Like typically there'll be 3 of them, might be 2. And there'll be centrifugal force where they'll come out and they'll grip onto the sides of the engine. This one is a different kind of mechanism, but it does not want to work. But the pull start, that part is fixed. So the battery booster is on right there. Connect to a negative terminal. See if the starter motor actually works. So she's got compression, starter motor works. Let's try to see if this thing will actually fire. That's a lot of fuel. Nope, she fired. Yeehaw. I gotta figure out this mechanism here so I can actually get the pull start to engage. Right now, obviously that's not engaged. Put that down there, that's what she does. So we gotta figure that one out, but we know the motor runs, so there's that. Let's take the carb off, take the fuel tank off, and clean it all, put it all back together, and see if she can run. Now we're going to dive deeper into the machine to get the motor to run. We're getting a bit sidetracked, but this is going to be an all-in-one video. Very easy to work on these old guys. Not a lot of worry about broken parts or having to get new stuff all the time. Usually the seals are so good you can reuse them. So I had to take the exhaust off to get to this bolt here, which came out very loosely. I just had to use a hand driver to take the bolt out. Bolts look amazing. The exhaust looks amazing. Look at the seal and everything. That's totally reusable. Blown away by that. Not sure how this is going to come out, but we know it's got a spring here, and they have that mechanism. Just want to kind of take a look at this close up. So a couple little things here. So this one's going to be easy to pop back in. That one's going to be easy to pop back in. This just moved, so that's a great sign. This is the carburetor. The bowl's down the side of the basement, so I gotta clean that to float. Yeah, she's looking really good. I'm blown away how easy this thing has come apart. I've never had this thing running until today. I've owned it for a couple of years. It's just been sitting in my backyard. So we're gonna clean the tank. We're gonna grease up some of the stuff here. Pull start still doesn't work, but I'm not really too worried about that. And I'm gonna clean this whole thing. So here we're cleaning the carburetor, we're cleaning the tank. Basically, we're getting all the soot and buildup of debris that happened in the bottom of the bowl and or the jets. We have finer tools to clean it out using carb cleaners and things of that nature. Not going into too much detail yet. So I don't think that carburetor has ever been cleaned. I know the tank hasn't probably been cleaned. Had some debris in the bottom of it. But we're going to assemble it all back together, grease the ring gear and the starter gear, and see if she will stay running. So for the engagement mechanism for the pull starter, the previous owner greased it up with very sticky grease, which is actually what prevented it from engaging, kind of the opposite of what he was intending, and that's why it had to be started using the electrical starter motor. What I did is I sprayed two things, a solvent and also a penetrating oil to help lubricate but also break up the grease that is stopping the mechanism from actually engaging and therefore the pull starter from actually working. This solved the issue. As you can see, I used the wrong grease. Wanted something that kind of like an axle grease, not a marine axle grease. So it's very, very sticky. Don't use this stuff. That being said, I put back together the engine. Now everything's back together. We can put some fuel in. We'll add a little bit into the tank and a little bit into the carburetor. That's a bit of foreshadowing because I never trust anything until I absolutely know for certain that they work properly. So guys, I literally just hit this thing with a hammer and it works now. So, and it's engaged, and it turns this way, not engaged, it turns this way, it's engaged. So let's hope that actually did something. Spray some more penetrating fluid into it. I think the previous owner did something that I just did, which was to, what do you call it? When this comes back this way, it disengages, and then it turns this way when you pull it on there. So that should work. I actually put the marine grease, this stuff, on the starter, and it's staying engaged. It's that good. So we're gonna fix that at the moment, but let's test this out. Okay, something's going on. Okay, so we have some fuel. The pull start works. What I did to get it to work was I unwound the pull starter full length and then installed the cover plate back on, and then I let it wind itself back up, and that reset the engagement mechanism for the motor. Something's not right. That's awesome. Now let's gotta put it back together. Well, we started out to get the pull starter working, got that going. Engine now runs, and so it's time, since it's warm, we will change the oil. We dump it out into a bucket. Not sure if you can see that, but I put it underneath the engine, drained it out, be wiping all that stuff down, and put some new oil back in. Now, I've never done this before, so make sure you're wearing your safety glasses, your hearing protection, and we're gonna use an air cannon to refill a tire and seated on the bead of the rim. Wow, that was intense, and it worked. Tire is no good, we're going to need tubes, but wow, that was pretty cool. And yes, the gas tank leaks. So definitely, let me get out of the wind. Definitely need to add some tubes to these tires, and then I'm going to add some like that is still leaking. It's ridiculous. I'm going to fix that later. Actually, drain it out myself. Put tubes in the tires, and then I'm going to get a bungee cord to hold this in place to kind of keep it nice and tight. That being said, this thing actually works. It's hideous, but it actually works. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Have any questions, comments, concerns? Please leave them down below. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Peace.